shittings, thinning out the hood.
But yeah, we're going to show this. People convicted by Jim Crow juries still incarcerated despite Supreme Court ruling. Now, Jim Crow juries are people who can be found guilty without having the entire jury being against them. It's supposed to be 12 people have to agree you're guilty. But they made it where you only need you don't even need all people to agree. 2 people can convince you that you're guilty. I'm sorry, but 2 people can say you're not guilty, but if the other 10 say you are, you're guilty. Even if it's not supposed to work like that.
Oh, they getting tired of having to go through these long.
No. That's the old Jim Crow law.
Oh,
so that was the way to convict people, no matter what.
Oh, black people.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Let me. Where is it? Right here. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all this video here of them talking about it. It's crazy. This was a 60 Minutes episode where they talked about the Jim Crow laws they had back then to still be able to call people guilty even if they didn't have a majority. That was a weird question. He clearly he said he's not guilty. Of course, it's an injustice.
Well, they just ask dumb questions.
That was dumb. So let me show you another one here, and this shit is so fucked up. But this one right here, that one is obvious. The man got life in prison. And that man's getting life in prison. We could say wrong place, wrong time. Hey, bad things happen. You got to protect yourself at all times. But this one right here, that one was bad. Him getting life in prison for pretty much getting into a fight.
Physical altercation.
And somebody else shooting, and now he in prison for life. But it's a bad situation all around. This one right here might be even more angering because he didn't do anything. Watch his story.
What'd they do to us?
He lied because he didn't want to tell his parents.
So is this person in jail?
No. I don't know how. I don't know how these people come out every year. There's hundreds of people that come out and say, I lied.
So let me guess.
I sent a black man to prison and he didn't do anything and they're not arrested.
It was a white
dude. Yeah, white dude. You just gonna keep in mind when they said that they had his picture in the lineup. The reason why he chose the picture because he didn't see a real person. See that these other people standing here, he didn't want to say he did it because he see this dude. See, the picture is just a picture. The picture, the dude did it. Sent him to prison for 22 years because he didn't want to tell his parents he bought drugs. See, he a better person than me. Because it's shit over for me anyway. I've been in prison 22 years. It's over. I was 20 when I got arrested. I'm 42. It's over. I'm going to find him. Ain't nothing else to talk about. I'm going to find him. I'm going back. I'm sorry. You took 22 years from me. And then that's on top of the damn jury being non-unanimous. He got fucked twice. Not once, twice.
Shit's sad.
Good Lord.
Took him away from his kids. Kids probably had resentment towards him because he wasn't in their life.
And he's like, I didn't. There's nothing. He can't do nothing. Can't say nothing. It's just, it is what it is. There's nothing else he could do. Yeah. Let me show y'all this. Reading a little bit. It said here, split jury convictions were allowed in Louisiana due to state law dating back to Jim Crow era. In 2018, a coalition of civil rights activists and formerly incarcerated people launched a ballot initiative to ban split jury convictions in Louisiana and require a unanimous jury vote. The initiative became Amendment 2, which passed overwhelmingly with Louisiana voters. 2 years later, the U.S. Supreme Court followed suit, ruling that the landmark Ramos versus Louisiana decision that the practice was unconstitutional. Finally, to 2018, Jamela Johnson, an attorney with a Promise to Justice initiative, a Louisiana-based criminal justice reform organizer, called the ruling powerful. There are people in the room who have worked on this issue for 20 years. 20 years they worked on this. There were people in the room that have been convicted of non-unanimous jury verdicts. There were people who everything was riding for them on the decision of the Supreme Court justices were going to relay. Justice Johnson said, and to have Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch announce that this was a Jim Crow law in a way that he announced it. A pretty conservative justice, Laurie said. That would make you it just burns you. Like I said, the first dude, he was just in a bad situation, got into a fight, it led to a shooting. Just bad situation. But the other dude, he literally didn't do anything.
Well, the other one, he didn't really do anything either.
I'm saying though, he was in a bad situation. Yeah, this dude wasn't in a bad situation. Yeah. He was just minding his business.
He was just randomly chosen.
Like, him. Today it's you today. Today it's just you. Crazy boy. By the way, since we're talking about injustices, look at this right here. Race in the ranks, investigating racial bias in the U.S. military. More than 70 years after armed services were integrated, it is still a fact of life that the U.S. military, that African Americans are more likely to be disciplined and less likely to be promoted than whites. As was first reported earlier this year, even the most successful black officers routinely feel the sting of racial bias, while large segments of the ranks and file believe the system is stacked against them. The military has made attempts to deal with the inequality before, but this time it's happening under the eye of Lloyd Austin, this country's first African-American Secretary of Defense, a former soldier who experienced discrimination firsthand. So even in the military, when you fighting for them in their wars,
you're still not good enough.
You're still not good enough. Crazy, man. Unfortunate. Let's show you this right here. Another horrifying story. We shouldn't even be going through these, but whatever. Trooper hits black motorist 18 times with a flashlight, calling it pain compliance. Lord.
Just making shit up on the fly, huh?
Pain compliance. That's yeah. Graphic body camera video kept secret for more than 2 years shows a Louisiana State Police trooper pummeling a black motorist 18 times with a flashlight. An attack the trooper defended as pain compliance. I'm not resisting. Aaron Larry Bowman told can be heard screaming between blows on the footage obtained by the Associated Press. The May 2019 beating following a traffic stop left him with a broken jaw, 3 broken ribs, a broken wrist, and a gash in his head, and required 6 staples to close. Bowman's encounter near his Monroe home came less than 3 weeks after a trooper from the same embattled agency punched, stunned, and dragged another black man, Ronald Green. We talked about him. Ronald Green was the dude who was on camera. I think he took them on like a slight high-speed chase, but he got out of the car and apologized profusely.
And they killed him.
And they just beat him. Tased him, and then he ended up dying, limped over on the car, and it's like, y'all just beat this man to death. And that took us back to the other story with the 3 teenagers in Chicago. Was it Chicago?
I think it was in New York.
New York. I don't know, but the 3 teenagers. No, it wasn't in either. It was another place. Well, 3 teenagers took the cops on a high speed chase. They were underage, under 18. The cops got them out and started beating.
It was in Rhode Island.
Yeah, Rhode Island. And started, what's the word? Start with a P. Providence.
Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island.
And they started beating on these teenagers because it took them. I get it, but
no, I don't get it.
No, I get the anger towards them, the danger they put people in. But why are you beating on these people? What's wrong with you? They're in cuffs. Chill out. Like, what are you doing? Spitting on them, spitting at them, and everything. But
yeah, and they were Hispanic.
Yeah, the cops. Yeah,
that brown and black and brown.
Gone. Before he died in police custody at a rural roadside in northeast Louisiana, video of Green's deaths similarly retained under wraps before AP obtained and published it earlier this year. Federal prosecutors are examining both cases and widening investigations to police brutality and potential cover-ups involving both troopers and state police brass. By the way, they came out with reports that there's gangs in the police force. We talked about that. There's literal gangs and cliques in the police force.
Yeah.
Let's see how the incident unfolded. On the night Bowman was pulled over for the traffic violation, Bowman came upon the scene after deputies had forcibly removed Bowman from his vehicle and taken him to the ground. The trooper later told investigators he was in the area and was trying to get involved. What? Was in the area and was trying to get involved. Wielding the 18-inch aluminum flashlight reinforced with a pointed end to shatter car glass, Bowman jumped out of his state police vehicle and began bashing Bowman on his head and body within 2 seconds of initial contact, unleashing 18 strikes in 24 seconds. Detectives wrote in their investigative report. "Give me your fucking hands," the trooper shouted. "I ain't messing with you." Bowman tried to explain several times that he was a dialysis patient, had done nothing wrong, and wasn't resisting, saying, "I'm not fighting you, you're fighting me." Brown responded with, "Shut the F up, and you ain't listening." Bowman later can be heard moaning, still on the ground. "I'm bleeding," he said. "They hit me in the head with a flashlight." Brown 31 later said Bowman had struck a deputy and that the blows were pain compliance intended to get Bowman into handcuffs. Investigators who reviewed Brown's video months after the fact determined the use of force was not reasonable or necessary. Brown did not respond to several messages seeking comment. But
of course he's not.
He's still facing charges, Bowman.
Yep, still facing charges.
Still.
Even though there's no evidence on the thing that he actually hit a police officer.
Nah, it ain't. But you know.
It's some bullshit.
It's fucked up.